Okay, today I'm gonna show you how to make one of my favorite breakfast meals with our pastured eggs. And these are called baby custards. And they're called that because I got the recipe from a Sally Fallon Nourishing Traditions book when I had babies, and it was one of their first foods. So it's nutrient dense, it's full of good ingredients, it's sugar-free, and it can work as a dessert or as a breakfast item. So I make these when I want to have something quick and easy, and I'm wanting something nutrient dense. So what they have in them are 6 eggs, not 6 dozen, 6 eggs. So 6 pastured eggs, a cup of whole milk, and we get whole raw milk, and a cup of cream. Now, if you don't have raw milk, it's fine. Just use cream and milk, or you could also probably use all milk, but they would be a little bit thinner. So, oh, and then you need honey. If you are feeding this to babies under a year old, you can also substitute in something like agave syrup or maple syrup for the sweetener. You also need vanilla. That's right, vanilla. And butter. So just a few, but those are the ingredients. So what you do is, okay, the first step is I get my little ramekins ready. And so I put a dollop of butter. Now you can take this butter and I've gotten lazy, but the original recipe says to butter your ramekins. So you can put that butter and spread it around in the bottom of your ramekin, or you can just dollop it in there like I do. And so what we're gonna do is bake this in a water, what do you call this? A water bath, I guess. So it's a pan with the ramekins in it filled with water. And that is so that we can slowly bake it. Here's what we do though. Here's what we do. I'm gonna show you. We need egg yolks. So take your pastured egg, bang it on the countertop and to split it, and then do this over a bowl. So you split it open. I'm gonna lift this up so you can see it. And you let the egg white, I've got half of it in the one side of the shell, and you let the egg white drain out. And you kind of pass it back and forth between the 2 eggshells, and you drip off the white, and you keep the egg yolk in the half a shell, whether it's, so there it is. Ooh, dripping. I'm like trying to aim it over the bowl at the same time. So you're left with, oh, I don't want that in there. You're left with the egg yolk, and that's what we're gonna use in this recipe. So there it is. I'm gonna plop it into my other bowl. So you're gonna take 5 to 6 egg yolks, okay? So see, I've got my egg yolks in there, and then you're going to add a 1/4 cup of honey or your sweetener. So, and you're going to mix those 2 things together. So egg yolks, honey, mix. Meanwhile, you're going to be warming up the milk and cream to just lukewarm. You don't want to boil it, just lukewarm. And you're going to take your warmed milk and cream, which I've got here in this saucepan, and you're going to slowly pour it into your egg and honey mixture, and you're going to whisk while you pour. So what we don't want to do is cook the egg yolks. So that's why your milk can't be too hot, can't be boiling. And you pour a little bit in. So I'm doing like maybe a 1/4 cup at a time. Pour, stir. Pour a tiny bit more, stir. Whisking all the time. So you're kind of cooling the milk as you're whisking it. And you're making a custard. So you're gonna do that until you get all of your milk mixed into your egg and honey mixture. And when it's all mixed in, You can strain it at this point. Sometimes I strain it and put it through Let's see if I have one handy. Something like this, a strainer like this, to get out any little bits of cooked egg white that you might not want in your custard. So I'm just gonna pour this through the strainer back into my original bowl, and it's gonna capture any bits of cooked egg. This step is totally optional. If you're not particular about textures, I wouldn't worry about this step. Cooking on camera is a little messy. Calvin's here telling me, Mom, you're spilling. I know, honey. It's a mess. It's okay. So once I've got that through the strainer, you can see it's straining. Then I've got my oven preheated to 300 degrees. So I've got my oven warm, preheated to 300. I'm now gonna take my custard, and it's this beautiful golden color, and I'm going to pour it into my little ramekins that are buttered, my buttered ramekins over here. When you're filling them, you wanna make sure your water level is above or at the level of the custard inside the ramekins. So you don't want any custard sticking up above the level of the water. The reason for that is because we want to slow down the cooking of the custards and kind of have them cook really evenly so there aren't any crunchy sides. So now I'm going to put this in the oven. Actually, you know what? I forgot to add in the vanilla. You're gonna add in, don't forget to add in the vanilla once your custard has been strained. So add in the vanilla, it's just a nice another little hint of sweetness. And then we're gonna bake this in the oven for an hour at 300 degrees in the water bath. And I'll show you when they come out. Now with the egg whites, definitely save those and add them to like an omelet, add them to scrambled eggs. You can also make meringues out of the egg whites. So definitely don't throw them away, but there are lots of great uses for those. Okay, so the baby custards came out wonderful. I call them baby custards, but really they're just a custard. They turned out so good. I just came in from evening chores and was about to feed the kids dinner, and I'm like, did you guys eat already? And Calvin said he ate 4 custards, so he's not hungry for dinner. They were sitting on the counter. They're supposed to be for breakfast, but he had them for dinner. And you know what's, it's okay because they're made from good ingredients. There's nothing bad in them. I just feel I have a clear conscience about feeding them for dinner to my 4-year-old. But I wanted to show you how they turned out. Aren't they just beautiful? So I added some frozen strawberries on top. You could add fresh berries. You could add fresh raspberries, blueberries, strawberries. You could add like granola on top of this. That's really good. Some other variations that I've done is to actually flavor the custard. I could flavor it like with orange or cinnamon essential oils, and those are really nice just for a little mix up and just for a little bit of variety sometimes. But I love these baby custards because you can make them up ahead of time. You can pre-make them and just have them in the fridge ready to go for those busy mornings that you need a nutrient-dense breakfast. And for when you're trying to wean yourself off of sugar and try to eat less refined white sugar, these have really hit the spot as like an after-dinner dessert. And you could even make them in smaller ramekins than this or eat just half of one, and they just hit the spot, and they're really nice with honey as that sweetener instead of brown sugar, white sugar, those sorts of things. So wanted to share that with you. We're heading into spring and we're gonna have so many more eggs than normal from our chickens, so I wanted to share with you that way that we love to use eggs and get more eggs into our diet for more nutrient dense protein. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk later.